What's going on, everybody? We are back here at the shop to take care of a few small projects. One really important thing to always try to do is keep up on maintenance. We got new filters for the dryer. We'll show you that. So if you have the time, it is a lot cheaper to do preventative maintenance than it is to repair stuff. So first we're gonna swap out the air filter on our dryer, and then we need to adjust the drain plug on the air compressor. This is the filter for our conveyor dryer, and it goes right along here along the side. And what this, take this first piece and it goes right in here. Let's see if I can do this with one hand, and then just every opening you can reach in, grab it, slide it further just a little bit, and as you can see, one side's white, the other side is blue, and the blue side goes on the inside, closest to the dryer, and the white side faces out. All right, and so just like that, we have the new filter in the dryer. You wanna make sure that you have the blue side facing in. That's a little bit denser. The white part goes to the outside. So that'll trap the bigger particles and then wait to get to the smaller ones on the back side. They'll send you a box like 4 or 5. You can just reach out to Ryonet, and you wanna make sure that you keep that clean, because that does affect the volume of air that is running across your dryer. Something as simple as this, just taking 2 minutes to call, order up the right part, swap out your filters, you're gonna keep your equipment running better, and it's gonna last longer, and it's just a minimal time commitment. But you know, I mean, it's important. You need to just set aside some time for maintenance, and if that means you have to come in, do it on the weekend, take 20 minutes to an hour, check off all the little things that in the long run will save you time and money. And you have to remember, like, this equipment is what's creating you revenue for your business, and it's important to keep it clean and running correctly, and you'll save yourself a lot of time, money, and headaches by just taking those little extra steps to make sure this is clean. We didn't have to do this, but by doing it, it's done, it's off the list, and now we can move on to the next. So we have a few different projects that we're gonna be doing on this air compressor, but today we are just gonna check the filter, and we are going to replace the drain plug underneath. And what's really important, and a lot of people sometimes overlook it, is when you're compressing the air in your shop and it's running through the air compressor itself and into the tank, there is a temperature change when that air goes from room temperature to being compressed and heated up and then put into the tank. So in the bottom, you will actually get some water building up. Now, if you don't drain it, you're not only losing capacity for as much air as you can hold in your tank, meaning that your compressor will run more frequently, but you're also running the risk that having moisture in here, you can begin to rust from the inside. So there is a drain plug on the bottom. One of our future projects is going to be to bring this drain spout further out so we can access it here. And then with all of our air to get the moisture out, we actually run this, which is an air dryer, and when you get an automatic, they'll point you in the direction of a few different units. This one works well for us. There's not a whole lot of background information on them. They're just basically plug and play. And what it's doing is cooling down the air, removing the moisture so that it does not go into your tools, your press, and anything else that you're running off of that. So if we're able to connect these lines and run them into a common area, whether it even just be a bucket, there's not a ton of water coming out of these, but it is just grabbing any of the moisture. So winter months, not as much. The air's a lot drier. Summer months, depending on the weather, we can have quite a bit of condensation buildup. So we do want to make sure that we drain that. And so the first thing we can check, we don't necessarily have to replace it. We do have a replacement here ready for when we do need to, but is the air filter on this. So you just want to take this wing nut off, slide that off and then inspect the filter. This one looks fairly clean, so we will leave that on until later in the year when we go ahead and do the oil change on here. And so the oil that we use for this, when we do our oil changes on this, is directly from Ingersoll, and I know it is a little overpriced, but it does come with a kit and the filter, and it extends your warranty depending on who you buy it from. So that was why we decided to go ahead and buy the kit directly from them. We get a year extended warranty on it, and for the minimal cost, we make sure that we're using something that we know for a fact is designed specifically to be used in here. That is why we chose to go with it. Okay, so normally when we go to drain this, we just reach underneath here. We have a paint tray that comes under here just to hold the water, and we spin this thing loose. So I believe this is stripped, so no matter how much we turn it in either direction, nothing is coming out. So we went ahead and got a replacement. We do plan to run a line further out so we have easier access, but for the meantime, for the couple bucks, got this replacement. It's actually going to be a little bit easier to open. Then we'll put the tray back underneath there, and we will be able to make sure that we are keeping the water out of our air compressor. All right, and to get this off, we're going to be using a 9/16 wrench. But before we do that, we are going to go up here and relieve the air pressure in the tank. All right, so now that we are drained, we can take this out, and we are also going to use our old paint tray, slide that up underneath because there will be water coming out of the bottom. All right, now that we've gotten it loosened up, we will finish that. All right, crisis averted. Everything stayed in the tray, and you can see half that's from the stuff that was in the tray already, but we are good to go. Got the piece out, and we will replace it with our new one. Usually do not have that much water coming out because we empty it daily. But being that the screw on the bottom was broken, we hadn't been able to empty it in probably like a week or so. So we will hand tighten it, toss the wrench on there, and then we will be good to go. All right, so now that is completely tight. We also tightened the wing nut on the bottom. That opens and will allow us to drain. All right, so the compressor is back up and running. We have our new drain plug installed. Let us know what you guys do for your maintenance in your shop, and we'll see you next time.